Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to day two of our Coach U. We're so happy to welcome two lovely speakers to our session today. Just a little bit of housekeeping again. Just please keep yourself muted for the background noise that might happen. And if you'd like to interrupt and make a comment or ask a question, we welcome that. So just take yourself off mute and interrupt politely. We will be sending out all of the links for the recordings today after the sessions once I've converted the videos, and you'll get a survey as well. So if you could please take the time to do that survey, it would mean a lot for the CAMX team. So introducing our speakers today, we have Gloria Tonne. Gloria has been in the industry for over 20 years, having found her passion growing and developing people's potential in the early 2000s. Since then, Gloria has been fortunate to build that passion into a career she truly loves, and she finds that spending time with CAMX aligns perfectly with those values. In her spare time, she enjoys staying active playing golf, bowling, playing music, reading, hanging out with her bulldogs, and playing highly competitive yard games with friends and family where smack talk is her love language. Kristen Thompson. Kristen is passionate about people and connection. Her work in this industry has truly been her dream job. With 6 years of experience, including over 2 years as a trainer, she's found that learning and fostering human connections are what she loves the most. When she's not focused on work, her time is devoted to her most handsome co-pilot, her four-year-old son. They love exploring and are always on the hunt for their next big adventure. So welcome, Kristen, and welcome, Gloria. And when you're ready, you can go ahead with your session.
All right, welcome everyone. So today we're diving into one of the trickiest transformations in leadership, going from teammate to team leader. This is a shift that can help feel awkward. So today we're covering mindset shifts, communication strategies, and practical habits to help you lead with fairness and confidence.
And to add to that, we are highly interactive by nature, so we're hoping for a lot of involvement today. We're going to have a little activity for you all, and we hope that you guys feel welcome and invited to pop up questions as they come up. So first and foremost, we want to do just a quick survey, show of hands, or you guys could pipe up here to think back to when you found out your new role involved coaching or even correcting your friends. How did that make you feel?
So let's start by reflecting. This shift often brings up mixed emotions, excitement, anxiety, and maybe some guilt. Take a moment to jot down or think about what your initial reaction was. It's important to acknowledge these feelings before we move forward. They're normal and a part of growth. So think back to when you found out that your new role involved coaching or even correcting your friends. How did that make you feel?
Was
I can.
anybody here? Oh, I see Sue. Go ahead, Sue.
Um, so I've been supervisor probably 13 years now. And about 3 years ago, we coach every day, as you know. But about 3 years ago, my operations manager asked me to join the training team, and I was just like, "Ugh." And I do it every day, but just to have the one-on-one, and I think it was like the best experience because I've been doing this almost 28 years now. So um, it was I was kind of apprehensive about it, but then as I got into it, like one-on-one, like I teach and coach every day, but just to have the one-on-one, it was a little different, and it was awesome. I felt like I was contributing a whole lot and helping people grow and letting them do their own thing.
Fantastic. So, were you a little nervous when you were given that opportunity?
I was, Christy, which I'm sure most of you know, she's like, you can do this. I want you to do this. And I'm just like, okay. So when the position was offered, I'm like, okay, we'll give it a go. Because like I said, I do it every day, right? I'm teaching and coaching every day. It's just not on the one-on-one basis. So I was apprehensive, yes, but I still remember my first fully trained agent, and it's just like having a kid, I guess. But
Yeah. Yeah.
she's still with us too, so yeah, it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of all of this, know first and foremost that this is very nerve-wracking. And as we were just discussing, that if you feel nervous, it's because it matters to you and you want to
Oh,
do a
most
good job,
definitely.
and that's
Most definitely.
100% natural. So, owning this new identity, lean into that and accept that your role has changed. You're no longer just one of the gang. You're the leader, and that's okay to feel nervous.
All right, so I want to kick this off with my personal story because nothing makes the Bud to Boss challenge clearer than when it happens in your own life. So, everybody, this is my best friend. Um, we became close years ago when we worked together in a salon. So she did massage and I did hair. We were equals. Over time, we became family, auntie to each other's kids, and our personal lives were completely intertwined. Eventually, we both changed careers. When she needed a job, I saw a chance to help. I put in a good word. She was hired. And here we are. My best friend is now a direct report. Having her report to me has been a huge eye opener. It's forced me to see both of us in a completely different light. It is challenging and we've had some intensely awkward moments where I'm no longer her equal, but her superior. My experience has taught me the necessity. Oh my goodness, I cannot. I'm stumbling. The absolute necessity of two things when you manage a friend. So you need to redefine your relationship. The professional structure must be clear, and you also need to establish new boundaries. So you need to let them know that our interactions personally at work must change. So the single biggest challenge is making a professional switch from peer to peer to relationship to manager to report relationship. It tests the friendship, but it's essential for success.
Yeah, thanks, Chrissy. As you can tell, this really hits home, and I think that we can all relate to this with our relationships. A lot of us feel like our coworkers are family, and that's a great thing, but it does bring a new dynamic to the challenge. So, understanding that your loyalty now lies with the organization and not just your old team or your old role or your friends, and every decision that you make and behavior that you have should support the bigger picture around that.
This is the moment it hits you. You are now responsible for guiding, coaching, and sometimes correcting people you used to vent with or joke around with. It's a big change, but it's also a huge opportunity to grow and lead with integrity. Yep, and you can do it with clarity, fairness, and confidence.
Yeah, so in thinking of our new identity and accepting that our role has changed and you're no longer just being one of the gang, um, don't avoid the awkward stuff, right? We want to be really clear with ourselves and reflect with ourselves on what that looks like for our own personal dynamic and our own personal growth. Because only when we reflect on ourselves can we prepare to have the conversations and keep our eye on the prize of the organizational needs as we transition.
So building or boundaries aren't about being cold, they're about clarity. Your role has changed, and that means your relationship at work will shift too. Be upfront about what's different, and don't shy away from tough conversations. You're still you, but your responsibilities are new.
Yeah, so some key points with this is you're still you, but your role has changed. And that means that you might not be able to vent or share challenges with your team like you used to, and that's normal. But finding a support outside of the team, a mentor or a coach can be a great sounding board. And we want to be clear when we have these conversations with our peers or our old friends, is to be clear about what's changed and what hasn't. Don't avoid the tough conversations, prepare them for it and prepare yourself for it as well. So we don't want to leave things unsaid, and we want to sit down and talk one-on-one with each team member and talk openly. So here's a simple way to say it. For example, If you want to use a script, you could say, I really value the friendship and working relationship we've had, and I hope that continues. But now that I'm in a leadership role, I need to be fair and consistent with everyone. So when we're talking about work, especially in front of others, I'll need to keep things strictly professional. It doesn't have to be long or awkward, just honest and respectful. Um, Another key point with that would be respect the friendship, but prioritize the team. And a big part of that is cutting the gossip. I know that if you used to vent or joke around about work stuff with your peers, that's challenging because it's got to stop right now, right? You're a part of the leadership and your job is to support the team, not just join in on the complaints or gossip. Even if it feels harmless, it can quickly undermine trust.
So fairness and consistency are your new best friends. You might feel tempted to give your old crew a break, but that can backfire. Be clear about what's different. Fairness and consistency are key. Treat everyone equally and explain why behind decisions. That's going to build trust. When giving feedback or doing reviews, stick to the facts. Focus on results and behaviors, not opinions. Use real examples like missed deadlines or peer feedback to keep things grounded and fair.
Yeah, so the key points with this step here is consistency plus fairness equals credibility. We want to treat everyone the same, even your closest work friends. We want to avoid favoritism, and even if it feels awkward. This one's huge. You must treat everyone the same, especially your closest friends. They don't get the best assignments, the inside scoop, or special treatment. In fact, you might actually need to be a little bit more formal with them to show the rest of the team that you're being fair. If you set a deadline or a new policy, it applies to everyone, no exceptions. When making decisions about promotions or assignments, leave personal biases at the door. Favoritism creates resentment, hurts morale, and breaks down trust. Your job is to build a team that feels respected and valued equally. And a good tip for that is to lead with the why, not just the how.
This is where your credibility gets built, making decisions based on the team goals, not personal history. Be transparent about expectations and keep personal feelings out of professional choices. This is how you earn respect. It's not always easy, but it is essential. Your job now is to make decisions based on team goals, be transparent about expectations, and keep personal feelings out of professional choices. Delegation isn't just about just handing off tasks, it's empowering your team. Here's how you do it right. Context. Always explain why tasks matter. Connecting to the bigger picture boosts motivation. Clarity. Be clear about what success looks like. Match tasks to people's strength and set a timeline. Authority. Give them the tools and freedom to get it done. Let them own it. Even if they stumble a bit, that's how growth happens.
Yeah, and a good tip for that is start shifting your language, right? Instead of you start using we and our team instead of I and my, right? And that helps it be forefront in your mind and really clear in your communications. It's a subtle but powerful way to build unity and shared ownership with everybody.
Let's talk script. These phrases help you stay professional in awkward moments. You don't have to memorize them, but practicing them helps you avoid slipping into peer mode. Let's walk through a few examples together. Practice them until they feel natural. So, the first situation would be a friend asks for special treatment.
So what you could say is to be fair to the whole team, I need to stick to the same schedule for everyone. Let's chat about your workload when you have a minute.
So, situation number two is when gossip starts.
And although it may be difficult in the moment, you could say, thanks for sharing, but I can't be part of this talk anymore. My job now is to solve problems, not discuss people.
Another situation could potentially be delegating a task that you used to do.
Yeah, how about this is a great opportunity for you to take the lead. You're an expert on this. Here's what I need and when. What support do you need from me?
So, another situation, somebody could ask about a past complaint that you previously made.
And that was said when I was a peer. My role's different now, and I'm focused on what we need to get done today.
You're no longer the one doing everything. You're guiding others to succeed. Share the outcome you need, ask what support they need, and trust them to deliver. Delegation is a leadership superpower.
Yeah, and again, like Kristen had said, is delegation isn't just handing out tasks, it's empowering your team. So some things and tips on how to do it right is make sure that you've got that context and always explain the why the task matters. Connecting it to the bigger goal boosts that motivation. Provide clarity. Be clear about what success looks like. Match tasks to people's strengths and set timelines. And use your authority. Give them the tools and freedom to get it done. Let them own it. And even if they stumble a bit, that's how growth happens, and support them in that. Being the leader doesn't mean having to push people into doing things. You want to support them and help them rise into their greatness.
Leadership is a skill, and like any skill, it needs practice. Think about how much time you've invested in your growth. If it's slow, that's okay. This is your chance to change that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have the opportunities to have a mentor or somebody that you trust to lean on to help guide you through this transition, but it is absolutely valuable to reach out to people that have experience that you're able to be vulnerable with and clear with and ask for guidance and practice.
All right, guys, now let's get hands-on. We're going to take about 3 minutes to write your own version of the scripts that we've discussed previously. Then pair up and practice. So, Erica, can you put everyone into breakout rooms, evenly numbered, if possible, for about 10 minutes? So when you guys are in there, please notice what feels easy and what feels awkward. That's where the growth happens.
Okay. Kristen and Gloria, do you want to be in a room or do you want to just be out so these guys can work?
I don't mind being out so they can work.
Okay.
Yeah. If you need an extra body, you could throw me in there, Erica. Let's just try and even it up.
What we're gonna do, give me a moment here because this is new for me.
Yeah, we dropped it on her this morning that, oh, by the way, we want breakout rooms.
Okay. What I'm gonna do.
Erica, at Sudbury Boardroom can be its own because we have 6 of us in here.
Okay,
Okay.
that shouldn't be a problem. The six of you can work together on it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So if you need more people for other break rooms, you can just leave us as our own break room because we've got the 6 and we'll work on those 3 now.
Okay. What might have to happen, I don't think I can get people to not be in a room. You just have to not accept your room, Kristen and Gloria, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
sounds
And then
good.
once that happens, I can exchange the rooms how they need to be. Sorry, this is a bigger task than what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
So I'm looking for you guys, Sudbury, in my
So
list.
just to be clear, when you guys are in there, what you're going to do is create your own version of your scripts, and then you're going to role play with your partner and try your new manager voice, and then you're going to reflect on it, what felt natural and felt awkward.
Okay, so I'm going to open up all the rooms and then you'll accept the room that you're going into. And then if I need to shuffle some people around, I can do that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sir, if you're there, you can join your room. Perfect.
Erica, if you could just mute Chrissy and I for We're hoping this will take about 15 to 20 minutes for them to work on different
Sure,
scenarios and practice.
sure.
Kicked out of my break room.
Okay, Tafara, let's see where you are here. I'm going to move you over with
Thank you.
Holly so you can accept that.
Thank you.
No problem. Sudbury's working on their own. Everyone else has a partner. Just letting you guys know. Oh no, Autumn doesn't have a partner, so let's move Autumn to room 5. There we go.
Erica, just to let you know as well, I do have a bunch of people here at Telelink with me as well, so
Okay,
we're
perfect.
gonna stay in our own little room if that's all right.
Yep, that works.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Okay, there we go. We're all partnered up.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Hey guys,
There she
hi,
is.
Erica.
how's it going?
Good. We don't have that script, so we're not too sure. We didn't screenshot it before moving to that break room, so we kind of we're not too sure on how to proceed. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Okay, let me see if I can go back. Oh, I wonder if I can go back now that I'm here.
Is the other thing we were wondering as well.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me text Gloria.
Oh, I just got it from Jackie here. So
Okay, good.
yeah.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
now I have to
Amazing.
figure out how to get myself out of here.
Okay. So I'll
Oh,
just,
leave room. I just click that. Okay. Good luck.
See you on the other side.
okay, so I'm just gonna put it in a,
I just went into a room that was asking for um, the instructions for the activity. So they got it from a chat from someone else, but I'm wondering if you can copy the instructions off your slide and throw it into the chat for everyone.
I can do that right now. I did send them over to Autumn, but I'll do that. I
Yeah,
have them written down. Um,
just in case anyone's kind of needing
yeah,
guidance in there.
for sure. And they can see it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay,
It popped up on my screen, Nicholas needs help. And I was like, oh, I've never seen this
interesting.
before. So I got to join their room and come back. And then what I'll do for your recording, guys, is I'll just take this little chunk and get rid of it, and then we can discuss after. And also what I can do is give them a warning if you want to let me know when we're like a minute out, for me to close the rooms. I'll just let everyone know that they have a minute left.
Sounds good. Where are we at? At 15 minutes now? Or... Oh, you're muted.
Autumn asked me for the questions about 8 minutes ago, and she was pretty quick to ask. So
Hopefully we have some good actors having fun in there. Erica, can you give the 1 minute warning, please?
Sure can.
Do we have everybody back?
I can close all the rooms and it'll pull them in. There we go.
Perfect. All right, guys. Now it's the time for self-reflection and to debrief. So after any potential challenging interaction, you should take about 5 minutes to privately review what happened. So what went well? Examples are I stuck to the facts and I didn't apologize for my decision. Another note here is what could have we've done better. So an example is I let the conversation drag out for too long. I should have wrapped it up sooner. Another thing to think about is what was my default setting? An example is I almost laughed when they started complaining. I need to practice keeping a neutral expression. Gloria, you're muted.
Oh dear, I'm sitting here talking to you guys and I was on mute the whole time. I'm sorry. Apologize for that. I just wanted to ask about your guys' experience with that exercise. What your takeaways are. Did you learn anything about the discussion itself? Tell us a little bit about what you feel.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I found it to be really helpful to discuss the different scenarios and bring up some examples of things that had happened. I know I've definitely had to have some of these conversations, and at the start, I was certainly a lot less prepared than I am now, and a lot of these tools we're discussing now will definitely help me in the future. It's I find that it can be very easy at work to be professional and follow through with this, but then you get outside of work and then it can be very easy to say something offhanded, even if you don't mean to, even if you're not really engaging with them, that not saying something in the moment is still giving them the belief that you're agreeing with them or that you can be the person to approach them. So then it can give them a mixed feeling when they try to bring that back up at work and you're not engaging with them, and you can get that dichotomy going where they're not sure how to approach you and then they're not approaching you about those things anymore, and then that can cause trouble in your team.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Ryan. That you made a lot of great points, but really, um, the thing about this exercise and this transition is to realize that leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. So if we rehearse our scripts, and I mean, it seems silly, but even when we were first learning on the phones, what did we do? We did practice calls and scenarios. So you take that with us and what we're doing now. And if you know that you have to have a difficult conversation, and set some boundaries with some friends, and you know that you're a little nervous about it, practice with somebody you trust. Find that mentor, find somebody who's neutral in order to practice it. And it may also look like reflecting on shifting your habits and maybe not sitting and having lunch with them all the time or hanging out with them as often at first until you reestablish this new relationship, and keep coming back to that reflection often and making sure that you're congruent with how you want to show up as a leader. I see Jackie's got her hand up. Go ahead, Jackie.
I was just talking with my group about how it's a little harder for us because most of us are remote.
Mm,
So everything is done through a chat. One person may take it one way, the other person takes it another way and may feel kind of attacked. So that was kind of a pain point just to know to get what you're saying across carefully without them taking it the wrong way.
yeah, and that's a really, really good point. And having just gone remote, our full office just went remote this past year. I can definitely relate to that struggle and that issue. And one thing that I found that really definitely helps is making sure that we're on camera as much as possible so I could see the body language and they could see mine. And really setting those boundaries right from the beginning of, hey, we need to have a crucial conversation.
And I think that's a great point, actually. Just like I'm a team lead. So a lot of the times I'll just say I'll call them and maybe start moving towards having them on camera just so they can see how I am and see how they are and make sure they don't leave upset. So,
Yeah, well, we know that communication is only 7% verbal, right? Yeah, anybody else have a question or something that they would like to share about this exercise?
Tafara has her hand up there.
Oh, go ahead, Tafara, sorry.
So, not just the exercise, but honestly, just hearing that this is a thing across everyone, like that every single company experiences this. It's just really reassuring because, as team leads sometimes or managers or management in general, we we can struggle with, okay, well, we need to make sure that we do things as best as we can. And sometimes we forget that we're also human and that this is a challenge that is everyone faces. So knowing that, we're in good company, that's really reassuring and can, I think, me personally help me whenever I'm making these decisions like, hey, I'm not doing this. The people in my breakout room are experiencing this as well. So, yeah, I just really enjoyed the solidarity and the knowing that, everyone goes through this. This is not a unique thing. This is not oh, I'm making a mistake. This is just a growing pain and part of leadership. So that was really beneficial to me personally.
Thank you so much for sharing. And let me just do a little shameless plug here for Camex. What this is doing and setting up right now is a perfect support network for you guys to lean on each other when you're having these struggles, because sometimes having that distance where it's not somebody within the organization, but somebody on the equal level as you is somebody that you can reach out to and create that relationship with professionally and be like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute and pick your brain about this stuff? That's fantastic. Any more? Or can I go to the next slide? Okay, we'll carry on.
All right, so small
Sorry,
changes
I'm just
send.
going to interrupt you for 1 second. Mary, did
Oh,
you want? There we go. There you are. I
oh,
think
hi,
we're
Mary.
doing something.
Oh, hi. I just have a quick question. I think that you guys might cover this later. So if I'm jumping the gun, just let me know. Um, so one of the things that we came across recently is kind of we're small, like we only have 22, 23 receptionists and 3 team leads. Is kind of when somebody asks you something or they want to know something, um, or we give them kind of that leadership answer, is when they don't like the answer that we give, so they go to the next team lead. So we've been experiencing that recently, and it's
Mm.
kind of like, wow, how do we set that boundary that, hey, we're all going to have the same type of answer?
Well, I think that that's two parts. One is to get really clear with the leadership team and make sure that the message is consistent across the board and you're all on the same page with that. And two, to have that conversation and say, hey, we talked about this. Why did you feel that you needed to go ask somebody else? Was I not clear? Did I not give you support? What can I do to help us so we don't have to do this next time?
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so small changes send big signals. Where you sit, how you lead meetings, and where you have private conversations. All of these reinforce your new role. Be intentional about these shifts, they send powerful signals. So, small shifts make big impacts. Lunch test, mix it up, sit with different teammates or other managers. Meeting presents, lead the agenda, guide the discussion, and wrap it up. Private spaces, use a neutral spot for sensitive conversations. It reinforces your role.
Yeah. So really being mindful of the fact of the unintentional biases and alliances that you may have. You may just instinctually like some people, gravitate towards some people, but in this new role, you have to intentionally put yourself out there to connect with the people that you may have more of a struggle with. And one thing that I try and really keep mindful from when I stepped up into a different position, more of a leadership position, was to find one good thing that I could connect with every single person about every day. Right. And it may have been something as simple as, hey, I love your shirt today. That's a fantastic shirt. Or, hey, I noticed you got some new shoes. Or, oh, whatever I could find, even if I was grasping, but to intentionally reach out and find one thing I could connect with people about every single day. Because it's easy for me to have conversations with people that I connect with. I have to be intentional about the conversations that I have that for people who are a little bit more introverted or shy, or I may not know as well.
So, after any tough moments, take about 5 minutes to reflect. What went well? What you could have improved? And did you slip into old habits? This kind of self-check balance your leadership muscles over time. After any tough moments, take about 5 minutes to yourself. Ask yourself what went well, what we could improve, and did I slip into old pure mode? This helps you build confidence and stay consistent.
Yeah, and I think that it's really important to be mindful of the fact that in this new role, while you're the boss, great managers still listen. So we want to listen more and direct less. And make sure your team feels heard. You're transitioning from being a contributor to an enabler. So your job is to remove those roadblocks and provide resources, not just to tell them what to do. Um, and be really, really mindful of communicating that why as often as you can, because we make assumptions. But if you guys have ever stepped into a trainer position, then you know that you might have to teach or tell people 4, 5, 6, 7 different times, different ways before they actually grasp it or know what questions to actually ask, because people don't know what they don't know, right? And people aren't intentionally difficult; they're just different than us.
When we were in the group with Ashley, I was telling her that words are so very, very important when you're talking to somebody because the wrong word can be like like it's so very important to watch what you're saying and watch the wording that you're using.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's an HR rule of thumb that everything you say can be used against you. And that's really to be mindful of the fact that I am here for the organization. And although our relationship once upon a time was very relaxed and casual, now at this level, I have to be mindful of what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and the intention behind why I'm saying it. Good point, Sue.
Leadership isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Rehearse your scripts, shift your habits, and reflect often. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You got this. So here's how to keep growing. Rehearse your scripts. You'll sound more confident and less reactive. Change your patterns. Your habits shape how others see you. Debrief often. Every interaction is a chance to learn.
Yeah, and I mean, to add to that, we want to practice using our manager voice, right? So when we're giving those performance feedbacks or making a tough call, we want to frame it as a decision being made on behalf of the team and the company. Not just, I'm not just saying this to your, because that could be misconstrued as a personal attack or a personal judgment. But when I say, it's really important to ABC company that we maintain this level of insert whatever, then it takes that personal out of it. And it's not just a personal choice. For example, based on companies' Q3 goals, we need to shift priorities to Project X instead of, I think that we should do Project X, right? It hits different when you're speaking on behalf of that. And then recognizing and knowing and looping them in to ask for that expertise, right? We've got some really great brain power and high caliber people on our teams, and recognizing that these team members are experts in their specific roles, ask them for their opinions and input and listen. That doesn't mean that you have to implement every change, but providing that opportunity to be heard definitely embeds your culture into the organization a little bit more with that teamwork.
So, in conclusion, set new boundaries, shift your mindset, stay fair and neutral. Communicate like a leader, delegate with confidence, change your habits, reflect and reset. And remember, practice makes progress. So, Gloria and I would like to thank you all and invite you, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Our emails are provided here in the slide.
Any comments or questions? I know that there's some things in chats that I didn't see as they were coming up. So if we've got any in there, Kristen, we've got a couple of minutes left that we
Sure.
can talk about them. We've got 5 minutes, I believe.
Okay, so Telelink said when I first started as a TL, one of my best friends worked with me, and I felt like I wasn't. I wanted to do a good job without hurting the friendship, but ultimately it failed as they had the wrong idea. Like I would let them away with give, sorry, let them get away with things.
Yeah, this isn't easy, you guys. This is really, really tough work, and I think that it's really important that we bring this discussion up for everybody who's transitioning into a new role, because as we talked about earlier, it's a struggle we all have, but yet nobody really talks about it or prepares us for it or trains it. You could talk about it, but until you're in it and the dynamic changes, you don't know. So just leaning on your support system and giving yourself the grace to be human. I want to remind us all of that is if we get knocked down 9 times, we get up 10. And if we fail in a conversation or communication with somebody, that isn't the end all be all. We have the opportunity to fix it and to reestablish it and say, hey, you know what? This didn't go the way that I wanted. Can we revisit this? And I think that being authentic that way can put a lot of jelly beans in your jelly bean jar.
All right. So Lynn said, excited to be in this new role, but also hesitant at first. Easiest thing was to meet with each staff and let them know I was on their side, but also there to help them grow and learn.
Huge, huge, hugely important. Great strategy. Honestly, giving people the time and the space to feel heard and supported, you can't buy that. That is creating that connection right off the get-go and setting you off with a good foot. Thank you for sharing that with everybody.
Mary said the toughest thing was taking off the friend's hat and putting the leader hat, but practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be candid. Sometimes it means that you have to distance yourself privately in your private relationships while you reestablish your professional boundaries and your new roles. because you don't want to misconstrue. It's really hard for me to, during the day, say, okay, I need to coach you on this, and then go hang out that night. Right? And so sometimes it takes a while. You might have to find a new interest or a new hobby or even a new peer group for a little while until the dust settles and you can have those crucial conversations.
All right. And Nicholas said, I felt like an imposter because of my age, 27. I wondered how I would possibly coach people who had more experience in this role than I had in my life.
Yeah, oh, that is challenging because especially if somebody has been in the organization a lot longer than you and they're grandfathered into a way of doing things and then being older than you as well, it creates a whole different dynamic. So just know that your company offered you this position because they believe in your capabilities. And once again, referring back to your mentor or somebody you trust to say, I'm feeling some resistance from this person. Can you coach me through how I can fix this? Or can we practice having a conversation about it? So then you're more prepared.
And that's it.
Awesome. Well, we got 1 minute left. I just want to personally thank you guys for your time. I hope that you have a great rest of your day in your sessions. I know that Coach U has always provided me with pages and pages of takeaways. And as Kristen said, if you have any questions or want to reach out, please feel welcome.
Mhm. Thank you very much, Kristen and Gloria. What a great presentation. Perfectly on time. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll come back to our next session at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, wherever you are. And we'll be moving into positive and effective coaching in a remote environment. So we'll see you all in 5 minutes.